Hey guys, how you doing? So, on today's episode, this podcast is going to stem from a conversation I had with someone I was advising. They wanted to navigate their way to nursing school. They wanted a program that was locally or online that would fit their work schedule so they can work full time. And if it was online, they wanted to do clinicals locally, but they preferred a program that they can do part time. They basically wanted a school that fit around their schedule. My answer to them was, well, just let me know when you find one. Because honestly, I don't think life works that way. To me, you don't get what you want, you get what you earn. And it's just like nature. Like, for example, if we as humans had to hunt for food, I can sit and wish for food all day. But if I don't get out and hunt, then I'm not going to be able to feed my family. That's just the way nature is. That's just the way life is. Now, keep in mind, life doesn't care if I sprain my ankle on a hunt the day prior. Life doesn't care. All life knows is you're going to get what you earn. So, my question to you is, how do you earn it? I'm going to show you how I earn mine. I'm also going to give you receipts because I got documentation to back up what I went through. As of this recording right now, you could go to Paramedic 2RN, the number 2.com, and you can see my nursing school blog. That's one of the first things that I did to help my friends that wanted to go to nursing school because amongst my friends, I was the guinea pig. It was like, okay, Reggie, well, go to nursing school and let us know how it was. But when I finished, it was like, guys, I came from the mountaintop. I got the commandments. I got the Holy Grail. Let me put it up for you guys. I got this whole program laid out, what I went through, costs, how I got in. Just from that experience is how I came up with the paramedic to RN and now giving you guys that same information. So that blog is really my entire journey from beginning to even when I got my NCLEX results. You guys can go see it, but for some of you guys, uh, get on the podcast later, or who may not have the means to see it, I'm going to give you the short version and give you some tips to earn your seat. So when I finally decided nursing school, there was only two paramedic to RN bridges in my state. One was about an hour and a half away, and the other one was like on the other side of the state. I had heard rumors about two or three community colleges near me that were going to start to offer paramedic to RN bridges. So I would just wanted to know if they was so I can make them a consideration. I emailed them, and of course, the answers were stuff like, we don't know, maybe, we're still thinking about it, we're considering it, and all that type of stuff. It was basically no. To this day, those community colleges still don't have a paramedic to RN bridge. But as I was getting prepared to start doing the rest of the prereqs for the paramedic to RN bridge that was an hour and a half away, one of my coworkers told me about another paramedic to RN bridge that had just started. I literally had no idea. Just by luck, it was the same distance. I was like, maybe I should give this a look. Actually, two more started, and they were about the same distance. One had the prereqs that I had already. I was like, oh, I already fit this one. All I needed was an associate's of EMS. It was the only one that required an associate's degree in emergency medical sciences because that one had all the classes that was required. The other one, I still had one or two classes to take. So I narrowed it down to this one. But the only problem was it had 10 slots. At first, my first brain was like, it has 10 slots. What if I don't get in? I got to wait next year. I can take a semester, take those two classes, and the other one don't have no cap and slots. But my brain was like, look, you need to go for it. So what would you do if you was in my shoes? Exactly. I aimed for the one I could get in right now. My backup plan was if I didn't get in, then I was going to take two classes that next semester. Then the next time it rolled around, I was going to apply to both. That was my backup plan. So now I had one major obstacle. They required the TEAS test. If you don't know what the TEAS test is, it's 3 or 4 sections. One is science, other one is English comprehension, one is math, and the other is grammar. It's like 4 sections, and you're graded. The math section is what intimidated me. I wasn't worried about the science section because through my schooling, especially being a paramedic, we kind of used to the sciences. Of course, I had to read up on stuff like chemistry and everything else. But as far as like EMP, as a paramedic, we got that down in a nutshell. But the problem I had with the TEAS test was, let me explain. I was a Con Ed medic that bridged to an associate's degree. When I took the placement test to get into the community college to do my paramedic bridge, as far as going from Con Ed to get my associates in EMS, I scored very well on English. I placed out of that, but I didn't place out of math. There was some developmental math courses I needed to take, but because my associates in EMS didn't require it, I didn't have to worry about math. Where here it goes, the TEAS test, you got a whole math section. So I got a whole problem here. Not to only mention that, look, I'm 40 years old and I hadn't taken math since high school. So that was another issue. That was my big barrier I felt I had to compete for these 10 slots. So what did I do? I studied for the TEAS test for 9 months. I studied 9 months. I think I brought the ATI. ATI is the maker of TEAS. So I wound up buying ATI TEAS book, and I did 2 practice tests. The first time I did a practice test, I did like a 72. The next time I did it like a 74. So that's how I did. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I studied for 9 months, like rock solid. But my overall score for the TEAS was an 80, and I wound up earning one of those 10 slots. Keep in mind, this is my nursing journey. My school drive was 1.5 hours away. My clinical site was 1.5 hour away. My required 120-hour capstone was at a hospital about an hour and 45 minutes away. Keep in mind, shift, I didn't sign up for the night shift. It was just given to me. Matter of fact, I wanted the day shift, but when they apparently the way my name fell on the list, it flipped me to nights. I had to drive back home with the windows down, AC blasting, playing Busta Rhymes so I wouldn't fall asleep on the highway. When you ask me, was nursing school easy? Hell no. I mean, I had to earn it. See, I had to bend to that program. It wasn't the other way around. My steps to successfully navigate your way to, to nursing school is number one, you have to make a decision. Also, what's your end goal? Do you just want to be a registered nurse? Do you want to be an advanced practice nurse, like a clinical nurse specialist, nurse practitioner, CRNA, nurse midwife? Do you want to be a nurse scientist? Do you want to earn your doctorate? I don't know. Only you know what your end goal is. Also, how far are you willing to drive? Or how far are you, how long can you afford to go? For example, are you willing to drive 1.5 hours? If so, how many bridges in your state that are in that radius, or how many nursing schools? How long do you want to go? Do you want to go 1 year, like a paramedic to RN bridge? Do you want to go 2 years to just a regular traditional community college program, or do you want to go 4 years to a university? Only you can decide that. But I would tell you how far you're willing to drive. It has to be within that radius. Or you can just do like I did. I just picked a school and locked in. I think one of the most valuable things I can tell you is do not rush your prereqs, because nursing school is a competition for seats and nothing beats an A. So I had all A's. I think for me was the fact that, remember, my original plan was to go to PA school. So when I did my associates in EMS, I had PA school in mind when I selected my classes. For example, I didn't do English and I didn't do A&P at the same time. I did A&P by itself because I know that I wanted to make an A. I did A&P too the same way. Now, when I did psych, I did English and psych together because I knew that I can handle both loads of those classes. Only you know what you can handle. So don't stretch yourself, because remember, if you don't post a good grade, then you're going to have to take that class again. That can count against you and not actually for you. The next one is to take a entry test prep. I did the T's, like I mentioned earlier. I did the ATI website. I purchased a book and 2 prep tests. The reason is because, keep in mind, there was only 10 slots when I applied. The minimum T score you needed for the school I went to was like a 58 or a 60. I think it was a 58. But the 58 is just for you so you can get in. But you're going to compete for those slots. So other folk that got like high 70s, 80s, and 90s, they're going to beat you out if you post a minimal T score. So you need to post the best score you can. Don't just go in and say, well, I did a 58. I don't understand why I didn't get a seat. Well, that's because if you got a influx of people that's scoring high 70s, 80s, or 90s, they're going to beat you out. So you have to prep for that test. Also, save some money. What I did was I saved to offset my living expenses. My first semester, I was able to work full time, but after that, I was PRN. I was as needed. I saved money to offset my living expenses. Also, nursing school is expensive. You know, got your classes, books, uniform, kits. You also have testing fees. It's not like a normal load of classes. Nursing school classes are expensive. There's a lot of other things that you're going to have to buy. Just keep that in mind. Also, one of the most invaluable things that I did was I talked to others who went to school before me, who went through that same program. They told me, hey, Reggie, you can work full time your first semester. Now, the next 2 semesters, you're going to have to break down your hours because there's going to be a lot of time. There's going to be a lot of commitment. Oh, by the way, you're going to have a project your second semester. They're able to tell you those little intricate type of things. So make sure you connect with someone who went, preferably the class before you. But I think the most important thing that I did was I visited the school and I met the nursing instructors. Me and my wife, we went down and we met the director of nursing before I even applied. We sat down in her office, we talked. She got to know me. She got to know my wife. She introduced me to other instructors. I'm pretty sure when my application came across, they was able to put face with the name and they knew who I was. That's not to say that's how I got my slot, but I'm pretty sure that it kind of gave me a competitive edge as well. And keep in mind, I came in with all A's and an 80 on the T's test, so I was probably one of the higher caliber candidates. Hopefully, I gave you a little bit more in-depth on how to compete for these schools, because I'm telling you right now, the way nursing is, we need you guys' help because we being slammed. With that being said, if you got any questions, just reach out to me. Shoot me an email. Just let me know. You know, I do a lot of consulting work. I talk individually with folks like you, and I help you. My mission here is to help as many people as I can. With that being said, thank you guys for joining in and happy nursing. I just wanted to take a moment to let you know how much I really enjoyed your support. If you've been listening to me for a while, I'd like to hear from you. So just leave a comment from time to time, hit the like button, and just let me know that you really enjoyed this episode. Make sure that you share the episode with others, and of course, subscribe and follow me. My goal is to help as many people as possible make the transition from paramedic to RN. So thanks as always.